if you're trying to find your feet with English and you are not able to find your feet, then keep your chin up, because in this lesson you're going to find out what do all these idioms mean that you will often hear native speakers use. Stay tuned in this lesson with me, Michelle, because I'm going to take you to another level of learning how to speak like native speakers.
Subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications. Don't miss any new lessons.
Let's look at the first idiom on the board. To twist someone's arm. Well, if you talk about the idiom more literally, you can twist someone's arm like this and it can be really painful, but that's not something nice, right? And it's not what it means, obviously. To twist someone's arm means to be very careful while talking to them and tactfully convincing them to do something that you want them to do. So I was wanting to go to this party yesterday that my friend is hosting, but I was the only one going and I thought that I should have a company. So I asked my friend, why don't you come along with me? And he's a guy, his name is Mike. And I said, why don't you come along with me, Mike? And Mike was like, sorry, I have to hit the books. I just can't join you. And I really wanted him to come along with me. So I told him, Mike, please join me. Please join me. And then he said, no, I just can't. So I told him, you know what? There are going to be some pretty girls there. And he was like, oh, you just twisted my arm. I'm coming with you. That means I just convinced him to join me for that party. Let's look at the second one. To be up in the air. What do we mean by being up in the air? Are they flying in the air, or are we talking about an aeroplane? Yeah, the planes are up in the air, but we are not talking about that. What we are talking about here is a situation that is uncertain. So my friend Kate, she's supposed to get married next month, and I called her one of these days because, I'm so excited for her wedding and I have almost everything prepared. I've even decided my dress. So I called her, hi Kate, have you fixed your date for your wedding next month? And she said, you know what, Michelle, the things are up in the air. We have decided a date, but I'm not sure if my parents will be able to make it on that day, and both the families are not available on the same day. So the things are still up in the air. That means that still the things are not very sure and they are still deciding upon it. So up in the air means uncertain. And as I told you, to twist someone's arm means to convince them to do something that you want them to do. Great. With that, we look at the third phrase for the day, and that is to sit tight. It's so awkward to sit tight. You will feel so uncomfortable, and no wonder, I shouldn't say, you will look very strange as well if you sit tight. No one can sit tight. But what do we mean by sitting tight in a situation? It means to be patient. Yes, to be patient. If you have appeared for an exam and you're getting very impatient and you ask your teacher, hey, ma'am or sir, are the results out? And your teacher might reply, hey, Johnny, don't worry, sometimes the results are out quickly, but other times you have to just sit tight and wait for the results. That means you have to be patient. To be patient. So sit tight in this lesson with me because we are going to look at many more interesting idioms. Let's look at the fourth one. To pitch in. Well, literally, this idiom means practically nothing. You can pitch into something, but pitch in here means to contribute. Yes. So I have this friend. His name is Sean, and we were talking about it's my another friend's birthday, Sally. So I was asking Sean, what are you gifting her for birthday? He said, I don't have enough money to buy a gift on my own. Then I suggested, why don't we pitch in and get her a gift? Because practically even I didn't have enough money. So I thought it would be best to contribute and to pitch in. So that means to contribute. Let's look at the next idiom, to go cold turkey. Well, yes, turkey is a bird and you got it absolutely right. How can we suddenly turn into a bird that we eat for Christmas or Thanksgiving? Well, we can turn into a cold turkey. That's why it's an idiom and it means to quit something suddenly. So this aunt of mine, she loves drinking, and the other day we were in a party and I offered her a glass of wine and I told her, why don't you have it? She said, sorry, I've just quit drinking. And I said, did you just quit cold turkey? Which means, did you quit suddenly? And she said, yes, just like that. So to quit suddenly, it could be smoking, drinking, or any activity that you want to quit. I hope you're able to use that idiom for your everyday conversation. Let's look at the next one, to be under the weather. So to be under the weather does not mean that you stand in the rain and you enjoy the rain and get all drenched. To be under the weather means to be not so well. Maybe you're having a flu. It's not too harsh on you. Maybe you're having a mild flu, but you're under the weather. So if you're not well, you could, possibly if you're applying for a leave, or maybe you're telling your friend why didn't come to work, and your friend is asking you, why didn't you turn up today? You could just reply, hey, I'm sorry, I was under the weather, which means I was not too well. To be sick. All right, to cut the chase. So this idiom means to cut a long conversation short. You'll often hear the presenters in a meeting or for a presentation, they might just say, I have a lot to say, but to cut the chase, all I'd say is that our company is going through a hard time and we need to do this, 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 and this, which means he's avoiding talking about long and useless points and he's just coming to the most important thing in the conversation. So this means to avoid long conversations. Let's look at the next one. To find your feet. That's exactly how I started the lesson, and I told you, finding your feet. Are you trying to find your feet with English language? This means that are you trying to get comfortable with English language? Yes, you know English, but maybe you're not comfortable speaking it and you're not very fluent with it. That means you're finding your feet with English language. You're getting more comfortable with it. To get more comfortable to an environment. Now we look at the last two idioms that we have for the day. To keep your chin up. I used this idiom in the beginning of the video. I told you if you are trying to find your feet with English, then keep your chin up. Means do not lose hope. It's okay. Very soon you're going to be a fluent speaker if you keep watching my videos. Yes, that's the cost. So do not lose hope. And the rule of thumb for being able to be a fluent speaker of English is that you continue to try talking in English. If you do not talk in English, you will never be able to learn it. So the rule of thumb is an unwritten rule. It's not like it's written in a book that you should speak English to learn it, but you also know it that it's not possible to learn a language without speaking it. So the rule of thumb is an unwritten rule that everyone knows. So here I have successfully taught you some useful idioms to help you talk like a native speaker. So don't worry and don't get confused when you hear all of them. Watch the video once, watch it twice so that you can memorize the meaning and understand them to be able to use them in your everyday conversations. I hope to see you soon in my next lesson. Till then, you have a great time. Bye!